first of all, I want to thank you for giving us this time. We know you're in holidays, and you're so very kind to do this. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. Thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Well, first of all, I would like to ask you, because you're such a famous actor, how do you do to manage the ego?
Oh, for me, I just, I know I'm a pretty simple guy. Ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to act. I started professional acting when I was 15. And I've been really lucky to have the chance to have a career. And I don't know, I just have always tried to keep it simple.
One day you decided you wanted to be that kind of person.
I think it's just in my nature. I had good parents. Yeah.
That's important. And let me ask you something, because when you started acting, the first movie, and maybe you didn't know you were going to become such a famous actor, in that moment, you were sure you wanted to be so recognized everywhere, knowing that you weren't going to be able to go out without having your picture taken?
When you start out, you just, especially whenever you start out in something, you have hopes and you have dreams. For me, it was just getting the chance to act, and I knew I wanted to make movies, and I knew I wanted to go to Hollywood to be in films. I think because I grew up in Canada and Toronto, those were the movies I saw. And I wanted to be telling those stories and to be making those movies, and so. I tried to make my way there, and I got in my car when I was 20 years old, and I drove to Los Angeles, and I had been working. I got an agent, but I didn't know. You can never know what your life is going to be, and so I don't know. Again, I just kind of feel grateful to be here.
In the first day of work from a new movie, are you still nervous, like the first time?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like nervous, but so excited. And, over the years, with experience, you feel like you do your work and you come prepared. But there's always the excitement of, if we're doing a scene together and we've rehearsed, but now it's the first time that we go, and the director says action. It's exciting. You don't know what's going to happen, which is pleasurable. I like that.
But I believe chemistry is very important in human relationships. Does it happen that you arrive and you don't feel the vibe with the other actor or actresses?
If you don't, it's not very enjoyable. But then something can come out of that you didn't expect. Especially, if you're playing lovers, that's a, disaster. But you're a professional, so you still perform the role, and I've never had that situation. I've been really lucky to really connect with the performers that I've had the chance to work with.
Do you see yourself in the future, like maybe, okay, one day I will retire, or do you see yourself maybe with 68-year-old? Playing a grandfather?
I hope I get to be 68 years old and playing a grandfather in an interesting way. Hey, granddad, how's it going, kid? Let me tell you about life. So I guess, yeah, I love working, so hopefully I get the chance to do that.
And tell me something. Who do you show your work to? Who is your best critic? the person you trust?
Who do I? You know, I have a few friends whose opinion I really respect. I mean, it's not that my other friends I don't respect, but it's, you know, I don't know, who would I, like I have a friend of mine who I met on a film named Alex Winter. We did a film called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and we've been friends, you know, since. And, you know, if he sees a film and he's like, well, I like this and I like that, or I didn't like this, I didn't like that, you know, I feel I usually agree with him.
And for example, do you relax on a Saturday Night Live with a glass of wine and enjoying a good movie? And what movies do you like?
Yeah, I actually go to the movies. Yeah. I'll be in Los Angeles, and you know, sometimes I go to the afternoon movie alone. You know, I like you know, sometimes when you're not working, you want to relax and visit friends and hang out with family. And but on those days where it's like, you know, I love going to the cinema with friends or by myself. And but then there's also, you know, like a great night. Like I remember I went recently to Gravity with a friend, and it was a packed movie theater, and you got the popcorn, and you know, the screen is huge, you know, it's 3D, it's a great night out, people are excited. I love that experience. I love going to the movies.
So I know you had a band.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell the people what was the name of your band and what was your part?
I played in a band called Dog Star, and we made a couple of albums. I played electric bass, and then after that band broke up, I played in a band called Becky for a short time.
And what can we find in your playlist?
In my place?
Playlist,
Oh,
like in your iPod.
playlist?
What do you listen?
I don't have an iPad or an iPod. Let's see.
What do you like?
What am I listening to? You know, I have a wide spectrum of taste. I think everybody does. You know, what am I listening to recently? Today I was listening to some Arcade Fire. You know, I really like this new band called Mets. Pretty hardcore. And I've been listening to some like older 90s music that I kind of grew up with. You know, like Replacements or Fugazi. You know, there's always John Coltrane. LCD Sound System is great. I've been listening to them a little bit. And some compositions by Arvo Part. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, P-A-R-T, but wonderful classical music. And yeah.
Okay. And for example, when you travel, do you like traveling alone, going with friends? What are your favorite destinations?
You know, I haven't been on many. I've been to some incredible places, like exotic places to me that I went to that was very special. Was a country called Bhutan. That was extraordinary. You know, I love Europe. You know, I now love Uruguay.
What do you think about Uruguay?
Well, I only know this part of town. You know, I haven't been up north of the frontier or anything like that. But you know, it's been great being here. Met some great people. And let's see, in traveling, yeah, I mean, it's great to travel with friends, and you know, traveling alone is okay when you're on a motorcycle. You know, I like to motorcycle.
You love motorcycles.
Yeah.
How many motorcycles do you have?
I have a couple of Nortons, and I have a custom motorcycle.
Now you are directing, right?
I did. I directed a kung fu movie called Man of Tai Chi.
And tell me, is it easier to direct when you are an actor or not?
You know, I don't know. For me, it felt very comfortable. I felt very at home. You know, I love actors. You know, I love the cinema. You know, I love finding the shot. You know, how are we telling the story in the camera? Yeah, I just felt really comfortable. I love storytelling. And I think my experience helped. You know.
And what's your upcoming project?
I just finished a film called John Wick in New York City. I played an assassin. which was I'm hoping that it's a really good movie. It was a very interesting character, John Wick, and he was married, kind of a normal guy. His wife passes away. He doesn't understand. He's in grief, and things happen, and he ends up. We end up discovering another side of John Wick, the assassin side.
Okay, so sometimes you may spend 1 or 2 years filming. And then arrives the moment to listen to the critics and listen to the audience. When a movie is fantastic, like Matrix, everything is okay.
Sure.
But when it doesn't, what do you feel? How do you take it?
Oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's terrible. Yeah, I mean, you hope that people like the work that you're a part of and that you do. For me, it's even tougher when you have and this hasn't happened a lot, but a couple of times where you have a great, a hope. You go into making a project and you're like, okay, and then it doesn't turn out as well as you hoped, and that's a disaster. But yeah, criticism's tough. I mean, you hope that people enjoy it,
Okay, well, thank you very much for giving us your time, and have a safe flight home.
Thank you so much.